In our world, some 3 million women are experiencing a pregnancy that can threaten their future reproductive lives with continuing tragedy. Many of these women do not even know it. They do not need to, because they are protected. Their future babies are protected. They have access to a protection, a simple and inexpensive medicine that has been available for more than 50 years. The threat is hemolytic disease of the fetus and newborn, also known simply as Rh disease. It's not really a disease in the common sense of the word. It is the result of a simple mismatch between the blood of a pregnant woman and the blood of her fetus. If a woman with Rh-negative blood becomes pregnant with an Rh-positive partner and has a fetus with Rh-positive blood, she can become sensitized to this blood type, which her body regards as a foreign threat. Being sensitized means that her immune system is ready to produce antibodies the next time it detects Rh-positive blood. That is, the next time she has an Rh-positive fetus. By attacking its blood, these antibodies can destroy the fetus or leave it with lifelong health problems, including brain damage. Before the development of a defense against Rh sensitization, Rh disease was a terrible fear for all Rh-negative women around the world. Hundreds of thousands of pregnancies ended in tragedy. Then, in 1968, an effective prophylactic was developed at Columbia University Medical Center in New York City. Just 2 injections of Rh or anti-D immunoglobulin, a natural substance derived from blood plasma, prevents sensitization. Rh disease was effectively defeated, almost overnight. This was a cause for great celebration. And in 2018, that breakthrough was honored with a year-long series of events marking its 50th anniversary. The year began and ended with birthday celebrations at Columbia, where the anti-D immunoglobulin treatment was developed.
Happy birthday, Anti-D.
Happy birthday,
But
Anti-D.
it became more and more clear that celebration was not the only appropriate response.
Happy birthday, Anti-D.
In our world, some 3 million pregnant women are threatened with lifelong reproductive tragedy. Most of them do not even know it. But these women are not protected, even now. Rh disease was defeated 50 years ago, but only in half the world, the rich half. This was a surprise even to experts in the field. Dr. Alvin Zapersky was one of the pioneers in the development of the anti-D immunoglobulin.
About 10 years ago, I too woke up after 40 years of sleep. I call it my Rip Van Winkle effect when I realized, when I thought, you know, maybe Rh disease is not gone. It sounds so silly now that we know what's out there, that I would suddenly realize that perhaps there's a problem out there, namely the problem of Rh disease worldwide.
Inequitable access to knowledge, resources, infrastructure, funding has meant that Rh disease has remained a problem, a solvable problem, for half the women in the world. For 50 years. Each year, hundreds of thousands of pregnancies still end in tragedy, needlessly. This is why WIRhE was born, the worldwide initiative for Rh disease eradication, WIRhE. Dr. Steven Spitalnik of Columbia University Medical Center is executive director of the new organization.
It became clear to many of us that we had done enough celebrating and maybe it was time to do something about 50% of the women in the world who need Rh immune globulin. And that got me even more interested in getting involved and trying to do something.
Associate Director of WIRhE is Dr. Bree Stotler.
My hope is that WIRhE will increase awareness of Rh disease, and I hope that ultimately WIRhE will be able to create the connections needed so that women everywhere who need anti-D immunoglobulin have access to it.
I hope that WIRhE will also be successful in overseeing and initiating pilot projects in various countries to demonstrate how simple in some ways it is to prevent Rh disease. And in terms of its awareness, I hope that WIRhE will be able to give publicity to other efforts that are being done by other people in the field.
One such effort is the Rhesus Solution Initiative, a project to raise awareness and treatment among Rh-negative women in Nigeria. Funmi Baniri established the initiative in 2009. She attended the celebration events at Columbia.
I want to see us in future, probably 10 years' time, that we'll be able to gather again and replicate what we are celebrating here today in Africa or possibly in Nigeria, where we'll be proudly saying that we are actually eliminating Rhesus disease in the whole world.
In addition to the Rhesus Solution Initiative, WIRhE is already making worldwide connections, meeting and consulting with people, organizations, and resources around the world, including Dr. John Gorman, one of the researchers who developed the breakthrough Rh sensitization prophylaxis in 1968, and Dr. Giancarlo Di Renzo of the International Federation of Gynecology and Obstetrics. WIRhE has received support from relevant industry partners, such as Kedrion Biopharma, provider of the most widely known anti-D immune globulin, RhoGAM, and Eldon Biologicals, producers of Eldon cards for rapid point-of-care Rh blood group determination.
I think in order for WIRhE to be successful, we will need to make connections with a wide range of people in the healthcare field and not in the healthcare field. We will need to engage people who are policymakers, government and non-government organizations, healthcare providers, and patients in order to raise awareness, build the infrastructure that's needed, overcome cultural barriers, and provide the funding that is needed to really tackle Rh disease. So this will be a public health endeavor that will involve many different pieces of the puzzle.
Those puzzle pieces include further challenging complications, like possible stigma attached to blood group typing and providing services in areas of conflict. But the important fact remains that actual prevention is not complicated.
It would be hard to argue that this is the most important disease in the world. I think what motivates me emotionally and otherwise is that it's completely preventable. We do have a universal cure to prevent Rh sensitization, and so the problem with this disease is not scientific, it's political, it's sociological, it's healthcare delivery, it's not medical science. And so while it may not be the most important, in some ways it's the easiest to fix.
It's so easy. Why aren't we capable of doing the easy things? Simple preventive measures are always better than expensive therapeutic procedures.
WIRhE. End Rh disease everywhere, forever.